Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. And we're going to talk about Dynamite, October 25th, 2023, Excalibur, Taz, Tony on commentary, and we're in Philadelphia. And we start, we have a promo before this, but MJF is with Renee backstage. He gets interrupted by Roderick Strong in the Kingdom, because Roderick Strong has said, in order to get his friend back, he needs to, settle with the devil, basically. And he called Adam, and Adam had surgery and everything like that. But this was very interesting. He pushes Roderick Strong in the Kingdom away, MJF does. And we get a glimpse of the devil on the camera, and it's not MJF. It just goes to the devil, and the devil cuts it off. And I was like, so who is the devil? I'm thinking it's Adam Cole. I'm thinking Adam Cole is this is the turn we've been waiting for. And MJF has a lot on his plate. Going into Full Gear and everything like that. And I realized Full Gear's on a Saturday, and I'm just like, God damn it. I wanted to watch it live. I was like, I'm going to have mutton stew with fry bread. I was going to do it up for Full Gear, but I work Saturday, so I was like, that's cool. I miss Sunday pay-per-views, but whatever. We started off with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, MJF versus Juice Robinson. The Guns on the outside. One hell of a match. Juice got some juice coming out of his head. Oh my gosh. This is a back and forth battle. And I will say this right now. This is why MJF is my favorite professional wrestler right now. And I mean this from the bottom of my fucking heart. This dude knows how to electrify that crowd. He knows how to make that crowd get involved. He knows how to make my bitch ass get involved. When I'm laying here on the couch, spread eagle and shit. He's doing this stuff. We got kangaroo kicks. He's telling the crowd, come on. I'm like, yeah! I'm flapping in the wind and everything like that. Like, this dude knows how to be a heel. He knows how to be a baby face. He knows how to make that crowd pop. And he makes me pop all the time. And this match with Juice. And Juice is such a great talent as well. Like, the chemistry between these two were just great. And this match was awesome. MJF retains the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And he knocks Juice out with it. Juice is about to get his TJ Maxx ring on. But MJF beat Juice, and, here comes the Guns, here comes Jay White. Jay White was on commentary for a bit, and, it was just one of those things. Then Roderick Strong and the Kingdom come out. They try to help, but they get their asses kicked, thrown out of the ring pretty easy, and the Acclaim with Daddy Ass come out for the save of MJF, then they cut a promo right after this. The Guns are saying they want the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships at Full Gear. So MJF says, oh yeah, we'll do that. And he'll pull another double duty like he did at All In London. MJF, will Adam Cole be good at that time? Because MJF has defended these tag team titles, in handicap matches before. So are we going to get that versus the Guns? And he has his match with Jay White. And not only all that, after we set it up, and MJF said, I accept, blah, blah, blah. And the Acclaim do their thing. Like, the Kingdom and Roger Strong's like, hey, you're going to pick us to fight, right? To help you next week, because they set a matchup where if MJF wins next week against the Bullet Club Gold, he can get his championship back, but he needs to find some partners, at least 3. There's Roderick the Kingdom, and he tells Roderick, put those 2 on your lap, and I'm going to push you both off a cliff, or go roll off a cliff, or something like that. Then the Acclaim try to come in, and Max he tells Max, like, hey, man, I've known you for a very long time, man. I've known you, blah, blah, but there's no chance in hell, blah, blah. And even if I was on fire, you're the person that can make me not be on fire. And I just love Max. It's like, so you're saying there's a chance? Oh, man, this is such good shit. And he, and Max puts up the scissors, and MJF declines. He walks up, and then bada bing, bada boom. Kenny fucking Omega comes out. He gets in the face of MJF, and he tells MJF, like, hey, man, you know, that streak is coming up here shortly that you're about to beat and everything like that. Give me the opportunity to defend my streak, and you defend that championship at Collision. And the match is set for Collision. MJF versus Kenny Omega, the Devil versus, oh my God, oh God, like even just saying it out loud at Collision, I was like, oh, pinch me, am I alive? Is this real? MJF and Kenny Omega at Collision for the championship? And just to top it up with some sprinkles, you know, Kenny Omega goes, 3 days, bitch. And I'm like, you know, I was like, oh man, I nearly shat myself. I'm excited for Collision more than I've been excited in a very long time. MJF and Kenny Omega, I was like, pinch me, Lord, pinch me. Wardlow video package. You know, he says he was out. He wasn't on vacation. He wasn't hurt. He was just trying to get through some things mentally, and he's gunning for MJF. And he says, "Hey, this man that's not that shat on this company, that did this and this and this and this and this, is now the face that runs the place. Basically, he's all Mr. AEW. What the fuck?" Wardlow's not having that, so he is pretty pissed off, and he's going after MJF. So another person to look over Maxwell's shoulder is now he has Wardlow on his path. We have a Hook and RVD teaming up against Alex Reynolds and John Silva for Dark Order, and Hook and RVD won. Tony Storm with RJ, hold that Butler movie. I didn't even watch it. I told y'all last week it pisses me off when they play it during the commercials. So I got to see bits. But I fast forward through that. All right, now let's get to the tidbit. All right. Darby Allin and Sting come out with Tony Schiavone. You know, it's Sting, and he got a present from Tony Khan. Sting did, because Sting has announced last week that his retirement will be at Revolution 2024, assuming in March, because then he says, here, this is what we got, and all of a sudden you get Ric fucking Flair, woo, 2 legendary wrestlers in the ring together. Sting and Ric Flair has some of the biggest history in this business, brother. Oh my gosh, and I at first I spoiled this for myself, because I try not to look on X or Twitter or whatever it's called. I try really hard not to see spoilers, because I want to go into these shows. But I saw Ric Flair was trending, and I got scared a little bit, but then I was like, oh, he's all elite now. And Ric Flair comes out, cuts a promo, and he tells him, like, hey, I'm going to ride this out. He even know the payper-view's name, but he's like, dude, till March, right? you're done in March. Ric Flair being Ric Flair, he as crazy as, like, you can see his age, but it's interesting. I made a joke with somebody when I told my wife, I was like, hey, guess who's all elite? She's like, who? And I'm like, woo. She goes, Rick? Why? I was like, I don't know, but he's all elite now, baby. And he's going to ride it out with Sting till the very end. And I feel like that's a very cool, humbling ending between these two, all the way down to Sting's retirement at Revolution 2024. It's just right around the corner. If you really think about it, what is October? November, December, January, February, March, 5 months. 5 months until Sting retires in that ring. And God damn it, he's going to have Ric Flair on his side. But we can't just end it there, right? We can't end it with some sweet Ric Flair and Sting. We got to have Christian Cage come out with Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus. And Christian Cage, Jesus Christ. Oh my fucking God, dude. This dude is the master roaster, the roaster of masters. He can roast that toast like no other. He tells Sting, like, hey, Tony got you a present. Big billionaire Tony, spending all the money. And I see he got you a nice suit. Looks like some gold chains and a black liver. And I'm just like, fuck. And then he goes on more. It's like, if there was a God, Ric Flair would have been dead 20 years ago. And I'm just like, Jesus, dude, I think Christian Cage is at a pinnacle peak right now. At first, when he came over, like, there's a lot of stuff with Christian that I'm just like, okay. And he shows that he still can go in that ring. He shows he can still go toe-to-toe with the best. And, especially when he went against Bryan Danielson. And, this level of Christian Cage and the assholeness of Christian Cage is something that I'm like, oh, man, yeah, this is good. This is good. And the fact that he roasts Ric Flair so bad, I was like, damn. But at Full Gear, it's going to be Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin, Sting, and a partner they're choosing. It's not going to be Rick, but I think it's going to be Adam Copeland. It's got to be because there's some backstage stuff after this. Next up, we have the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles on the line. The Hung Bucks versus the Hardys and Brother Zay. Before we get into this match, though, we had Renee with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho got his ass handed to him by Powerhouse Hobbs, and he's like, I don't know, I'm second guessing, blah 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 blah. Chris saying like he needs to make some calls, and what does he need to do after this because he got his ass kicked so bad. Now the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles: Hung Bucks, Hardys, Brother Zay in the ring, and it's just such great noises from Brother Zay. And this and that, but the Hung Bucks for the win. And this was a fun match as well. This match and the MJF match, man, it got me on my tippy toesies, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. But what was interesting about this match was fun, but the Prince Nana and Swerve invading Hangman Adam Page's house, it was a bit creepy and cool. Like Swerve all the way going to the baby's crib. I don't think there was a baby in there, but and then give it and then to leave his mark and say like, hey, kid, now you're in debt to me. Basically, he gives him a Prince Nana shirt. I got to get that Prince Nana shirt. Like that has to be on my list after like rent's paid and everything like that. But yeah, he gives him a shirt. So yeah, but now what is Hangman Adam Page? I thought Hangman Adam Page was going to show up, and we are going to have some like Randy Orton and Triple H shit, him throwing out the windows and stuff like that. So, but I was like, does Hangman Adam Page live in Philly? He's just right down the street, So, but after that we have Adam with Renee backstage, Adam Copeland, and he's talking. He's like, yeah, I don't want to face Christian. I want to, he wants to do the ride out with him as tag team and this and that, wants the fairy tale ending and stuff. But Darby and Sting interrupt, and Sting tells him like, yo, man, you got your blinders on. The funny thing about this whole segment right here is the fact that Darby's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then Sting just pushes him to the side. He's like, hey, the grown-ups are talking, and he's talking, and Darby Allin just goes into the shadows of this whole thing, and I'm laughing the whole time because Sting's going on. I was like, I cruise down the road with Lex Luger and blah blah, and I was like, man, you gotta keep using that, aren't you? And he's like, Adam, you gotta take your blinders off, man. You gotta get in the game. What's it gonna do? Wake up, blah blah. And to motivate Adam Copeland and everything. And after they left, Darby's like, yeah. And they walk off, and I'm like, man, that was some good shit right there. AEW Women's Championship is next. Hikaru Shida versus Ruby Soho, who I just feel like we're just not going to do anything with. I remember when she came here, she felt like she broke the chains from WWE, and she's going to make a difference over here and this and that, but she hasn't been booked properly. I don't ever see her getting that AEW Women's Championship, and it sucks. I like Ruby. I think Ruby's cool, but Shida for the win. This match was okay. It was a little wonky at parts. There was some spots where I think Ruby missed, and Shida was just trying to gel with Ruby. And the finish I think was all sloppy too. Like it was supposed to be with the spray paint and the championship belt, and it just felt really awkward. But Shida for the win. Ruby Soho, that's it. It was an okay match. But Toni Storm comes out. I'm guessing we're getting Shida versus Toni Storm at Full Gear. They were a little confusing about that as well because they're like, homecoming in Full Gear and her road to being a championship again. Will she face Hikaru Shida again? I'm like, yeah, I'm guessing that's what we're setting up here, right? I'm guessing like even the commentators just seemed confused. So But we're going to get Sheeta and Storm. It has to happen. Renee's backstage with MJF. And this was this made me go like someone punched me in the chest, man. MJF's backstage. He's like, yeah, this is going on. Then guess who comes in? Samoa Joe. Joe comes in, and he tells me, hey, MJF, he's like, hey, man, he's so good at when he talks, man. He's like, hey, you need a partner, right? You want, hey, I'll be your friend, okay? And he goes, I'll take it. And MJ's like, okay, I'll take that. And he shakes the hand. And all of a sudden, Joe goes, but I'm going to have my rematch. And you don't have to answer now, but I'm going to have my rematch for that championship. And I was like, oh my God, Kenny Omega, Samoa Joe. We got Wardlow on the tattoo. I'm just like, oh my God, MJF has so much going on. And he's going to defend the Ring of Honor championships at Full Gear. Oh. At this moment, I'm spent. At this moment, I'm like, hey, is that all the awesomeness that's going to go on tonight? No, we got the main event, baby. Bryan Danielson and Claudio coming out versus Orange Cassidy and Okada, the Rainmaker. Folks, oh, so good. This was such a good match. This is match number 3 of the night for me. I had such a good time. I was back and forth. Orange Cassidy, Orange Punch. We got some Rainmakers. We got so much goody good. And then we had Bryan Danielson and Okada standing in the ring. And this is Okada's debut on Dynamite. And that crowd, as soon as those two got in the ring with each other, everyone's like, holy shit. And indeed, these two already face each other at Forbidden Door, and we want more. Man, Bryan was chopping the shit out of Okada. Whew. Some gruesome, ruthless chopping dragon style, son. But Blackpool Combat Club for the win. And it was there was a great match. Great finish. Boom, bada bing. Danielson, Claudio, they win. But then it just ends. Everyone's in the ring. Orange Cassidy's in the corner. Okada. Then Claudio, Danielson's out holding his face, and then because he got Orange Punch and Rainmaker, and they're like, "What's going on? Get the medics." And Yuta comes out with Moxley, and Rocky Romero comes out with the Best Friends, and Hook's out there too as well. And Hook and Yuta's looking at each other. And it's just like, and then the commentators are like, "Yeah, well, is something gonna happen? Are we yeah?" I guess not. All right, y'all. Well, and this guy was like, hey, Collision, all these matches, and then him spitting off rapid fire, blah, 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 blah. It was just a weird ending to the show because everyone was at a standstill. And even the commentators were like, well, no. Well, we'll see you at Collision and Rampage, folks, But I got to say, despite all that, I got to say my favorite match of the night was MJF versus Juice Robinson. Second to that was the Ring of Honor 6-man tag title match, and the third match is the Bryan Danielson, Claudio versus Orange Cassidy and Okada. Whew, that's it. That's all. 5 out of fucking 5. This was such a good show. Such a good show. Everything, we're telling the story we need. We got Ric Flair now in AEW. He's gonna be rocking him with Sting. Adam Copeland's in AEW. I feel like now Tony is on fire. He's like, let's just start loading the calibers and the rounds and stuff like that, man, and just start shooting for the fucking fences. And he just needs to take that motivation, give us great shows like this, and not go bitch on Twitter about WWE. Just do what you're doing, Tony. I think I brought it up before because someone asked me, what do you think of Tony, whining on social media? Don't do it, man. Just focus on bringing the bangers like this show for Dynamite, October 25th, 2023. Excalibur, Taz, Tony on commentary. We're in Philly. Rocking good time. Great show. Let's just keep producing this stuff. We got Rampage, then we got SmackDown, and we have Collision. And Collision, I gotta say, this is for the first time. As excited as I am for SmackDown, not really Rampage, but as excited as I usually am for Rampage to end my week, I'm more excited for fucking Collision. MJF and Kenny Omega, yes please, or yes boy. Alright, now I'm spent. I'm tired. I still gotta go to work. All right, y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with your grandma, share it with your grandpa, share it with the bum down at Walmart. Tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet logo created by Penta X. And that's it. That's all. I'm KMB, the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
What a moment! The Nature Boy, Ric Flair.